I mean, I think it's very clear that we have a situation in London now where the old parties, and particularly in terms of the people who've been in power, Ken Livingstone in London and New Labour in London, I mean, you know, they have simply not been able to deliver any real responses to the needs of ordinary Londoners. That's my view. And I believe the main reason for that is twofold. One, there is a massive sort of coming together between politicians and developers that has made it impossible for the priorities of ordinary people to be actually properly respected in the planning process, in the development process. And I think that is causing a huge number of Londoners a lot of grief. The fact that we have nowhere near the kind of affordable housing levels that we need is another major issue. These are things that can be addressed by people who are genuinely committed to those issues. People who don't need to kowtow to developers, people who don't need to be part of what the New Labour agenda is, which really is a very much sort of a pro-developer, pro-privatisation, pro-capitalist agenda. What we need is people who are in leadership in London, who represent the genuine aspirations and genuine needs of ordinary Londoners. And that is an issue that people in the left list, people who belong to a tradition of progressive politics, these are people who can actually make that kind of reality happen for London. And ordinary people will be properly represented by people like Lindsay, by people like Olu Rahman, people who have a track record of having operated not in the interest of the privileged, not in the interest of the privateers, not in the interest of developers, but in the real and genuine interest of ordinary people. People who depend on public housing, people who depend on proper public services, and people who depend on sort of the democratic process being properly accountable. The reality is that you cannot have a sufficiently robust democracy unless the mechanisms of accountability are extremely strong. What we've seen over the years is a continuous erosion of the process of accountability. I mean, politicians can get away with murder these days, and institutions are, free to do what they want to do without being accountable to ordinary people. And time again, we have seen that it is only people genuinely committed to the real aspirations of people, of working people, that can make institutions accountable. Because the only way that real accountability is going to happen is through a grassroots movement, is through a grassroots coming together of people who are then going to make demands of institutions and of politicians.